This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Police officers in Vancouver will start wearing body cameras today. Coming up, how the program there compares to last week's body camera rollout in Salem, and the latest on Portland's lack of police body cams. Plus,
if anybody doesn't believe that there's a credibility gap, then they haven't been paying attention.
An Oregon lawmaker wants all new police officers to go to college, but most people spoke out against this bill at its first public hearing. This morning, we'll hear arguments from both sides of the issue.
also this morning, the hunt for truffles is on. And we're joining the hunt in Newburgh, along with a truffle hunter in training. Talking about the pups this morning. That story is coming up later this half hour.
Oh, lots of good stuff coming your way on a Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Rod, start us off with the forecast.
Kind of like what we saw, especially Saturday. Saturday, boy, did you guys were you outdoors? It was
I was.
Grizzly. It was kind of,
Yeah.
It was a lot wetter than I thought. I hate when the forecaster shows up and your buddies are looking at you like, you didn't tell us it was going to be this wet outside. Anyway, same weather pattern this morning. A lot of clouds spilling down from the northwest. Radar's now picking up light rain all the way down into Canby. I don't think we get a lot of total moisture in the gauge today. We didn't over the weekend, but at any time you could find some mist or some light rain out there. Temperatures, thanks to the cloud cover, mighty fine. 47 degrees out there right now. And pretty much all of you are at least 40 or better. 50 at noon, 52 at 5 p.m. Winds will pick up southwest 10 to 20. We have the front coming in tonight. Tonight we have warnings for wind in parts of our area, mountain snow warnings, all of that coming up in about 8 minutes.
Rob, thank you. We have breaking news this morning. President Joe Biden has made a surprise trip to Ukraine. He was expected to stay in Poland, but instead, just hours ago, he took a train to the capital city of Kyiv, which is an active war zone. According to the New York Times, President Biden told advisors he wanted to mark the first anniversary of the Russian invasion, which is Friday. He also wanted to reassure allies that the U.S. is committed to its European alliances. Now, shortly after arriving in Kyiv, President Biden announced another $500 million in U.S. aid to the war effort. Now to our top story locally. Starting today, Vancouver police officers will begin wearing body cameras.
Devin Haskins joins us now with more on this. So Devin, it sounds like the rollout will happen in a couple of different phases.
Yeah, Drew, that's correct. The first officers to wear them will be day shift patrol. Then by March 9th, Vancouver police says all officers will begin wearing them, both patrol and non-patrol. Vancouver's police chief tells KGW the department has budgeted for 220 officers to wear the cameras. Says an officer will be allowed to view only the body camera footage that they produce before writing any report. We've recently talked about other police departments starting to wear them, like Salem. Salem just rolled out their program last week. Officers can review their video before writing certain reports. In the city of Portland, police department is still in negotiations with the city, and one of the sticking points there is when officers can review their video. All right, so let's get back to Vancouver. Vancouver Police Chief Jeff Morey says the cameras give the community the biggest benefit.
I believe it makes us more efficient. It helps us with our report writing, make sure we gather all the details the way they were recorded. But equally important, it builds that transparency and trust with our community.
So on top of the body cameras, the Vancouver Police Department is also adding cameras to squad cars. But because of supply chain issues, he says those won't be rolled out until much later in the year. Brenda?
Devin, thank you for the update. Well, Oregon lawmakers are considering a bill to make all new police officers get a college degree. This comes at a time when departments nationwide are struggling to recruit people to join the force. KGW's Alma McCarty talked to the bill's sponsor.
Senate Bill 779 creates, as Senator Lou Frederick explains, a different set of expectations for those tasked to protect and serve.
As you begin to create a different credibility that is sorely lacking in many of our communities regarding police force coming in, folks will accept some things. But there's if anybody doesn't believe that there's a credibility gap, then they haven't been paying attention.
He's proposing a higher education requirement, a 2-year degree for officers in departments with 50 or fewer officers, and a bachelor's degree for departments with 50-plus officers.
We're not saying that everybody has to have a PhD, but we are saying that we want to see folks begin to have a broader sense of the community, of the world around them. They have the ability to injure and potentially kill somebody. So I want them well trained and understanding what's going on.
This week in Salem,
the first public hearing that we will have will be Senate Bill 779.
Lawmakers listened to testimony in committee. The vast majority spoke out against the bill. While they didn't dispute the value of education, opponents believe these requirements could make a current staffing crisis worse.
An incentive-based system works with encouraging more education. It should not be a punitive mechanism that may prohibit the best hire from getting through the door.
As valuable as education is, it takes time and money that many working families don't have.
We can't support such a narrow view of what makes a viable applicant or public servant.
Sergeant Aaron Schmautz, president of the Portland Police Association, echoed that view.
We're looking for candidates who want to serve, who have the right temperament. And we can train you, but we want to make sure that, again, that you have the right kind of mindset. It's not that education doesn't help or hurts. It just means that this job is a very kind of specific skill set.
Senator James Manning, who worked as a corrections officer and police officer, expressed that higher education for law enforcement would be a step in the right direction. Some of the comments made during the hearing, he said, disturbed him.
What I'm hearing is that you only need to breathe in order to get a job in law enforcement. That in itself is scary and it sends a bad signal.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Let's take a look now at some other local headlines we're following this morning, starting with this. A Multnomah County Sheriff's deputy is on leave after shooting an armed man in Troutdale over the weekend. It happened early Saturday morning, just before 2 a.m. It started when someone reported a man firing a gun at the windows of this Home Depot on Southeast Stark Street. The sheriff's office and Gresham police both responded. They told the suspect to drop his gun, but the situation escalated from there and it ended with the deputy shooting him. The suspect was first taken to the hospital before he was released and then booked into jail. The East County Major Crimes Team and the DA's office are now investigating this shooting. The Max Blue and Red lines are running again this morning after a crash last night that involved a train and a skateboard. TriMet says the crash happened near Pioneer Courthouse Square just before 10 o'clock. We still don't know if anyone was on the skateboard at the time or if anyone was hurt. MAX service resumed 30 minutes after this crash. And one more headline here, this one from Mount Hood. High winds have shut down Mount Hood Meadows for the day. The resort expects to reopen tomorrow, but that's still not a for sure thing. You can look for updates at skihood.com. Again, those are some of your local headlines. Can I ask Rod a question here, Brenda, to get us started?
Please do.
Two things. Number one, it is President's Day today, so a day off from school for most kids. A big day usually at Meadows.
Yes.
Are we talking about a high wind warning or high winds that are already happening?
Neither and neither.
So what's
Here's
going on?
What's curious. Mount Hood Meadows right now at 6,500 feet has a west wind to about 33 miles per hour. That's called typical. Winds may not pick up there until late afternoon, evening. Now, the mountain will get 100-mile-per-hour winds, certainly up on the upper lifts and higher up overnight tonight because there's a jet stream push that comes in with tonight's front. And tomorrow you can make the case it'll be windy up there, more windy up there than it will be today. So I was surprised to see that headline. When we came out with that headline of Meadows being closed, first thing I did was check their wind speed, and I went, okay, here's a look at our watch warning map. We have in purple the storm warning for snow for the Cascades and for the Coast Range. Both of those warnings go into place tonight. And then the red, which is near the Hood River line all the way out into Pendleton, that's a wind warning for gusty winds that starts tonight. So here's what all of that means. Winter storm warning for the Cascades and Coast Range begins at 10 p.m. tonight and extends through Tuesday night. Cascades, we're looking at upwards of a couple of feet of snow, which is what we thought, which is what we told you last Friday. So that hasn't changed. In the Coast Range, 6 to 12. Snow levels will get down close to 1,000 feet overnight tonight. So that will bring the Coast Range into play. High wind warning for the East Gorge. Now this starts at 6 p.m. tonight. It includes the Dalles out into Pendleton. And this is for winds that could be gusting between 45 and 60 miles per hour. There's also a wind advisory tonight for you folks in Central Oregon. Redmond, for example, you could see some westerlies gusting to about 40, maybe 50 miles per hour. So lots of things are going to start happening tonight into tomorrow. Right now, we're really pretty quiet. The front is up in here. It doesn't show up very well in the satellite picture, but we will see rain showers picking up starting this evening. We have some light rain areas out there currently. Futurecast, here we are at 1:30 this afternoon. Doesn't show much during the day. Very similar today to what we had over the weekend, except you'll notice a bit of a southwest breeze, maybe 10 to 20. Here we are this evening. Now we have showers starting to pick up, and don't really notice much until we get into tomorrow morning. Now we've got heavy showers. We've got heavy mountain snow falling. It's heavy scattered rain showers during the day tomorrow, and then we get into more of a snow mix down low on Wednesday. 47 in Portland. Look at find your city, 321. Hope you found it. It's 32 down in Eugene. Here's our 7-day. Only 40 by Wednesday, only 32 Thursday, only 38 Friday. The cold air still on track. Back to you.
I don't know anyone who doesn't like maple syrup.
Hey, it's maple syrup season in Estacada. Coming up after the break, we catch up with a local group collaborating with an Oregon university to keep things renewable.